My name's Craig Jessop. I'm currently the Dean of the Caine College of the Arts at Utah State University. I'm also an alumnus of Utah State University. I studied music education, and my first professional job was teaching high school choral music at Granite High School in Salt Lake City, and had a marvelous time. I'd always intended in being in university music teaching as I wanted to aspire to be like my mentor, William Ramsey at Utah State. I ended up serving in the United States Air Force as a conductor of the Air Force Singing Sergeants and the Air Force Band of Europe and Omaha, Nebraska, and then was with the Mormon Tabernacle Choir for 13 years, 4 years as the associate and 9 years as the music director of the Tabernacle Choir. And then came home to Cache Valley, where I'm loving serving here with the Caine College of the Arts. I learned the power of music as a young 18-year-old entering freshman at Utah State University. I was able to go on a USO tour throughout Southeast Asia for 9 weeks: Japan, Korea, Guam, Hawaii, the Philippines. And one experience I'll never forget was going to Clark Air Force Base and performing at Anderson Medical Center for soldiers that had been wounded in Vietnam. We spent the entire day going to various wards throughout the hospital performing for the soldiers that had been wounded. And at the very end of the day, a nurse came up to us and said, "Do you mind singing to one more patient?" And we said, "Of course not." And she explained before we went into his room, she said, "This young man has been here 6 months, and he lost both of his arms and both of his legs in Vietnam, and he hasn't spoken or shed a tear in the entire time that he's been here. And we're quite concerned about him. Psychologists have worked with him, the doctors and the nurses, but he's ceased to communicate with anyone. Would you mind just going in and singing for him?" So we went into a room, and here is this young man, beautiful young man, lying in a hospital bed, just a torso, and just an empty blank look in his eyes. There were 12 of us, 5 women and 7 men. We circled his bed, and we gave a short, entertaining program, largely folk songs. And at the very end, we sang a hymn. And as we were singing the hymn to him, his eyes began to tear, and tears came down his cheeks. And then the nurses started to cry, and we started to cry. And then he said, just very faintly, "Thank you." I knew there was a power of music that never left my soul from that time. It made a difference in his life, made a difference in my life.